Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, Verse 9. Mandasya manda prajnasya vayo mandayushashchavai nidraya hriyate naktam divacha vyartha karmabhi. Synonyms. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ओम ज्ञानते विरांतस्य ज्ञानंजन शलाक्य चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिमत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिनिति नामिने नमो आचार्यपदाय नेताय गुरुप्रदायिने गौरकथादामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Synonyms. Mandasya, of the lazy. Manda, paltry. Prajnasya, of intelligence. Vaya, age. Manda, short. Ayusha, of duration of life. Cha, and. Why, exactly. Nidraya, by sleeping. Hriyate, passes away. Naktam, night. Diva, daytime. Cha, also. Vyartha, for nothing. Karma, be by activities. Translation. Lazy human beings with paltry intelligence and a short duration of life pass the night sleeping and the day performing activities that are for naught. Purport. The less intelligent do not know the real value of the human form of life. The human form is a special gift of material nature in the course of her enforcing stringent laws of miseries upon the living being. It is a chance to achieve the highest boon of life, namely to get out of the entanglement of repeated birth and death. The intelligent take care of this important gift by strenuously endeavoring to get out of the entanglement. But the less intelligent are lazy and unable to evaluate the gift of the human body to achieve liberation from the material bondage. They become more interested in so-called economic development and work very hard throughout life simply for the sense enjoyment of the temporary body. Sense enjoyment is also allowed to the lower animals by the law of nature, and thus a human being is also destined to a certain amount of sense enjoyment according to his past or present life. But one should definitely try to understand that sense enjoyment is not the ultimate goal of human life. Herein it is said that during the daytime one works for nothing because the aim is nothing but sense enjoyment. We can particularly observe how the human being is engaged for nothing in the great cities and industrial towns. There are so many things manufactured by human energy, but they are all meant for sense enjoyment and not for getting out of material bondage. And after working hard during the daytime, a tired man either sleeps or engages in sex habits at night. That is the program of materialistic civilized life for the less intelligent. Therefore, they are designated herein as lazy, unfortunate, and short-lived. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 10. Suta Vacha Yada Parikshit Kurujhangle Avasat Kalim Pravishtam Nija Chakravartite Nishamyavartham Anati Priyam Tatha Sharasanam Samyuga Saundir Adade. Synonyms. Sutta Vacha, Sutta Goswami said, Yada, when Parikshit, Maharaja Parikshit, Kuru Jangale, in the capital of Kuru's empire, Avasat was residing, Kalim, the symptoms of the age of Kali, Pravishtam entered, Nija Chakravartite, within his jurisdiction, Nishamya, thus hearing, Vartham, news, Anati Priyam, not very palatable, Tatha, thereafter, Shrasanam, arouse and bows, Sam Yuga, having gotten a chance for, sound the material activities, the day took up. Translation. Sutta Goswami said, while Maharaja Parikshit was residing in the capital of the Kuru Empire, the symptoms of the age of Kali began to infiltrate within the jurisdiction of his state. When he learned about this, he did not think the matter very palatable. This did, however, give him a chance to fight. He took up his bow and arrows and prepared himself for military activities. Purport. The state administration of Maharaja Parikshit was so perfect that he was sitting in his capital peacefully. But he got the news that the symptoms of the age of Kali had already infiltrated into the jurisdiction of his state, and he did not like this news. What are the symptoms of the age of Kali? They are, number one, illicit connection with women. 2, indulgence in meat eating. 3, intoxication. And 4, taking pleasure in gambling. The age of Kali literally means the age of quarrel, and the above mentioned 4 symptoms in human society are the root causes for all kinds of quarrel. Maharaja Parikshit heard that some of the people of the state had already taken to those symptoms, and he wanted to take immediate steps against such causes of unrest. This means that at least up to the regime of Maharaja Parikshit, such symptoms of public life were practically unknown. And as soon as they were slightly detected, he wanted to root them out. The news was not palatable for him, but in a way it was, because Maharaja Parikshit got a chance to fight. There was no need to fight with small states because everyone was peacefully under his subordination, but the Kali Yuga miscreants gave his fighting spirit a chance for exhibition. A perfect Kshatriya king is always jubilant as soon as he gets a chance to fight. Just as a sportsman is eager when there is a chance for a sporting match. It is no argument that in the age of Kali, such symptoms are predestined. If so, then why was that preparation for fighting out such symptoms? Such arguments are offered by lazy and unfortunate men. In rainy season, rain is predestined, and yet people take precautions to protect themselves. Similarly, in the age of Kali, the symptoms as above mentioned are sure to infiltrate into social life, but it is the duty of the state to save the citizen from association of agents of the age of Kali. Maharaja Parikshit wanted to punish the miscreants indulging in the symptoms of Kali and thus save the innocent citizens who were pure in habit by culture of religion. It is a duty of the king to give such protection, and Maharaja Parikshit was perfectly right when he prepared himself to fight. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 11. Swalankrutam syama turangayojitam ratam mrughendra dvajam ashritapurat vrutoratha swadvipapati yuktaya swasenaya digvijayaya nirgatha. Synonyms. Sualankrutam, very well decorated. Syama, black. Turanga, horses. Yojitam, tackled. Ratham, chariot. Mrugaindra, lion. Dvajam, flagged. Ashrita, under the protection. Purat, from the capital. Vritha, surrounded by. Ratha, charioteers. Ashwa, cavalry. Dvipapati, elephants. Yuktaya, thus being equipped. Swasenaya, along with infantry. Digvijayaya, for the purpose of conquering. Nirgatha, went out. Translation. Maharaja Parikshit sat on a chariot drawn by black horses. His flag was marked with the sign of a lion. Being so decorated and surrounded by charioteers, cavalry, elephants, and infantry soldiers, he left the capital to conquer in all directions. Purport. Maharaja Parikshit is distinguished from his grandfather Arjuna, for black horses pulled his chariot instead of white horses. He marked his flag with the mark of a lion, and his grandfather marked his with the mark of Hanumanji. A royal procession like that of Maharaja Parikshit, surrounded by well-decorated chariots, cavalry, elephants, infantry, and band, not only is pleasing to the eyes, but also is a sign of civilization that is aesthetic even on the fighting front. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 12. Badrashvam ketumalam cha bharatam chotaran kurun kim purushadhini varshani vijitya jagruhe balim. Synonyms. Badrashvam, Badrashva. Ketumalam, Ketumala. Cha, also. Bharatam, Bharata. Cha, and. Uttaran, the northern countries. Kurun, the kingdom of the Kuru dynasty. Kimpurusha Adini, a country beyond the northern side of the Himalayas. Varshani, parts of the earth planet. Vijitya, conquering. Jagruhe, exacted. Balim, strength. Translation. Maharaja Parikshit then conquered all parts of the earthly planet, Badrashva, Ketumala, Bharata, the northern Kuru, Kimpurusha, etc., and exacted tributes from the respective rulers. Purport. Badrashva, it is a tract of land near Meru Parvata, and it extends from Gandhamadana Parvata to the saltwater ocean. There is a description of this Varsha in the Mahabharata, Bhishma Parva 7.14-18. The description was narrated by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. Maharaja Yudhishthira also conquered this Varsha, and thus, the province was included within the jurisdiction of his empire. Maharaja Parikshit was formally declared to be the emperor of all lands ruled by his grandfather, but still he had to establish his supremacy while he was out of his capital to exact tribute from such states. Ketumala. This earth planet is divided into 7 dvipas by 7 oceans, and the central dvipa called Jambu Dvipa is divided into 9 varshas or parts by 8 huge mountains. Bharata Varsha is one of the above mentioned 9 varshas, and Ketumala is also described as one of the above varshas. It is said that in Ketumala Varsha, women are the most beautiful. This Varsha was conquered by Arjuna also. A description of this this part of the world is available in the Mahabharata, SB1.16.8. It is said that this part of the world is situated on the western side of the Meru Parvata, and inhabitants of his province used to live up to 10,000 years. Vishnu Parva 6.31 says, human beings living in this part of the globe are of golden color, and the women resemble the angels of heaven. The inhabitants are free from all kinds of disease and grief. Bharata Varsha. This part of the world is also one of the 9 Varshas of the Jambudvipa. A description of Bharata Varsha is also given in Mahabharata, Bhishma Parva, chapters 9 and 10. In the center of Jambudvipa is Ilavrata Varsha, and the south of Ilavrata Varsha is Hari Varsha. The description of these Varshas are given in the Mahabharata, Shabha Parva 28.78 as follows. Nagarams chavanams chaiva nadischa vimalodhaka Purushan deva kalpamscha narischa priyadarshanam adrishta purvan subhagan sadhadarsha dhananjaya sadanani cha subhadrani narischa sarasam nibham. It is mentioned here that the women in both these Varshas are beautiful, and some of them are equal to the Apsaras or heavenly women. Uttara Kuru. According to Vedic geography, the northmost portion of Jambudvipa is called Uttara Kuru Varsha. It is surrounded by the saltwater ocean from 3 sides and divided by Sringavan mountain from the Hiranmaya Varsha. Kimpurusha Varsha. It is stated to be situated north of the great Himalaya mountain, which is 80,000 miles in length and height, and which covers 16,000 miles in width. This part of the world were also conquered by Arjuna, Shabha 28.12. The Kimpurushas are descendants of the daughter of Daksha. When Maharaja Yudhishthira performed a heart sacrifice yajna, the inhabitants of these countries were also present to take part in the festival, and they paid tributes to the emperor. This part of the world is called Kimpurusha Varsha, or sometimes the Himalayan provinces, Himavati. It is said that Sukadeva Goswami was born in these Himalayan provinces and that he came to Bharatavarsha after crossing the Himalayan countries. In other words, Maharaja Parikshit conquered all the world. He conquered all the continents, joining all the seas and oceans in all directions, namely the eastern, western, northern, and southern parts of the world. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.16.13 to 15. Tatra tatropashunvana swapurvesham mahatmanam praghiyamanam chayasha krishna mahatmya suchakam atmanam cha paritratham ashvatham no astra tejasa sneham cha vrishni parthanam tesham bhaktim cha keshave tebhya paramasantushta priti ujjumvitalochana mahadhanani vasamsi dadauharan mahamana. Synonyms. Tatra tatra, everywhere the king visited. Upashrunvana, continuously he heard. Swapurvesham, about his own forefathers. Mahatmana, who were all great devotees of the Lord. Praghiyamanam, unto those who were thus addressing. Cha, also. Yasha, glories. Krishna, Lord Krishna. Mahatma, Mahatmya, glorious acts. Shuchakam, indicating Atmanam, his personal self. Cha, also. Paritratam, delivered. Ashwathamna, of Ashwatthama. Astra, weapon. Tejasa, powerful. Race, sneham, affection. Cha, also. Vrishni, parthanam, between descendants of Vrishni and those of Pritha. Tesham, of all of them. Bhaktim, devotion, cha also Keshave unto Lord Krishna, Tebya unto them, Parama extremely, Santushta pleased, Preeti attraction, Ujrumbitha pleasingly open, Lochana one who has such eyes, Mahadanani valuable riches, Vasam, sea, clothing, Dadao gave in charity, Haran, necklace, Mahamana, one who has a broader outlook. Wherever the king visited, he continuously heard the glories of his great forefathers, who were all devotees of the Lord, and also of the glorious acts of Lord Krishna. He also heard how he himself had been protected by the Lord from the powerful heat of the weapon of Ashwatthama. People also mentioned the great affection between the descendants of Vrishni and Pruta due to the latter's great devotion to Lord Keshava. The king, being very pleased with the singers of such glories, opened his eyes in great satisfaction. Out of magnanimity, he was pleased to award them very valuable necklaces and clothing. Purport. Kings and great personalities of the state are presented with welcome addresses. This is a system from time immemorial, and Maharaja Parikshit, since he was one of the well-known emperors of the world, was also presented with addresses of welcome in all parts of the world as he visited those places. The subject matter of those welcome addresses was Krishna. Krishna means Krishna and his eternal devotees, as the king means the king and his confidential associates. Krishna and his unalloyed devotees cannot be separated, and therefore glorifying the devotee means glorifying the Lord, and vice versa. Maharaja Parikshit would not have been glad to hear about the glories of his forefathers like Maharaja Yudhishthira and Arjuna had they not been connected with the acts of Lord Krishna. The Lord descends specifically to deliver his devotees, Paritranaya Sadhunam. The devotees are glorified by the presence of the Lord because they cannot live for a moment without the presence of the Lord and his different energies. The Lord is present for the devotee by his acts and glories, and therefore Maharaja Parikshit felt the presence of the Lord when he was glorified by his acts, especially when he was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother. The devotees of the Lord are never in danger, but in the material world, which is full of dangers at every step, the devotees are apparently placed into dangerous positions, and when they are saved by the Lord is glorified. Lord Krishna would not have been glorified as the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita and his devotee like the Pandavas not been entangled in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. All such acts of the Lord were mentioned in the addresses of welcome, and Maharaja Parikshit, in full satisfaction, rewarded those who presented such addresses. The difference between the presentation of welcome addresses today and in those days is that formerly the welcome addresses were presented to a person like Maharaja Parikshit. The welcome addresses were full of facts and figures, and those who presented such addresses were sufficiently rewarded, whereas in the present days, the welcome addresses are presented not always with factual statements, but to please the post holder, and often they are full of flattering lies, and rarely are those who present such welcome addresses rewarded by the poor receiver. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Patita Pawan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai.